We're still enjoying summer, but school is just around the corner, and this year there's a real opportunity for students and teachers to connect.
Yeah, students spend more than 1,000 hours with their teachers in a typical school year. That's enough time to build a relationship that could ignite a student's lifetime love of learning.
And as Mr. G found out, that relationship he had with a student is one that has stood the test of time and brought smiles and feelings of gratitude on both sides. It's a G thing.
G Thing, brought to you by Northwell, who believes when we raise health, we raise everyone. Northwell, raise health.
I swung open the classroom doors. I was only in my 20s, ready to share my passion for science and weather with the kids at IS 131 in the Bronx. Little did I know the impact I would make on some of my students. I had the opportunity to reconnect with one teen who stood out from 40 years ago, who just so happens to be basketball legend Eddie Pinckney.
You brought me so much joy over the years. It's amazing. When I sat at the edge of my chair when you were at Villanova and had that run to the national championship, right? And I walked around like a peacock saying, I taught that kid everything he knows about basketball. I taught him.
Eddie grew up in the Bronx, where things were a little tougher than other areas, but school was his refuge.
I always remember your enthusiasm for making sure we learn our lessons and, using unique techniques to make sure that we learned. It was great. I mean, everybody wanted to be in your class, man.
Roy, Eddie, remember what the class was? It was weather.
No, of course. No, I know. So you're teaching weather in the South Bronx, and you're doing a good job of it too.
Eddie, what happened in that classroom? What was the dynamic that you remember? And I ask this humbly, right? 45 years later.
The teaching was presented in that was very enthusiastic, very progressive, very interesting, and it was constant. I mean, I cannot remember a day where you were not in the classroom and you were enthusiastic about a certain part of your class.
You were a great kid then. You were a wonderful example when you were in college. We saw you on television on the sidelines. I saw you in the Boston Celtic game in Madison Square Garden. And you walked across the court to say hello to me, right? You shook my hands, and I said, Eddie, what do you remember about that class? And you looked me right in the eye and said, your corny jokes.
Oh my goodness. You will always be remembered as one of the best teachers we've ever had.
Well, that's all very good. And Eddie, you're one of the greatest people I ever met. And I saw the seeds very, very early on. And I'm glad to say they've grown. I'm glad nothing's changed. Everything I thought about you was positive. And I said to myself when you graduated, I don't have to worry about Eddie Pinckney.
The reminiscing brought smiles and laughs to both of us. And as teachers get ready to go back to school, this is my way of sharing the impact we make on kids that could last a lifetime.
That is a great story.
Yeah, and G, that little picture of you, G.
Well,
yeah.
Get back to Eddie, I think the really big thing for me was, teaching is a hallmark relationship. And if you get it right, and you have that special kid and he reacts to you and vice versa, and then they come back, 45 years later. Not many teachers have that gift. So Eddie, thank you. He's off to the Summer League in Vegas, and he's going to probably be a commissioner one day. That is my prediction.